In the vast and grand world of One Piece, few antagonists have left a mark as memorable as Enel, the self-proclaimed god of Skypia. He was a tyrant who judged the inhabitants as a true god, a man whose overwhelming power the invincible Goro Goro Nomi was matched only by his colossal arrogance. His defeat at the hands of Monkey D. Luffy, a simple rubber boy, was not just a physical loss, but a deep and comical destruction of his entire worldview. For most villains, that would have been the end. But for Enel, it was only the beginning. Unlike any other major antagonist defeated by Luffy, Enel actually achieved his final goal. His great space operations, often dismissed as a joke, show him completing his journey to rebirth the moon. What he found there was not just an infinite land of sacred soil, but the very key to the deepest secret of One Piece. The return of Enel is not a matter of if, but when, how, and why. His comeback will not be a simple quest for revenge, but a crucial event tied to the core mysteries of the Void Century, the nature of gods, the origins of the winged races, and the final war for the fate of the world. His journey to the moon was not the end, but the true and electrifying beginning of his story. To understand why Enel will return, we must first understand the man he was in Skypiea. Enel was not a pirate seeking treasure, nor a revolutionary seeking freedom. He was a fanatic, a being who, after consuming the Thunder Fruit, genuinely believed he had transcended mortality. His power fed that delusion in the isolated world of the Sky Islands. He was in every practical sense omnipotent and omniscient. His Logia-type devil fruit was described as one of the most powerful, granting him the speed of lightning and the ability to release up to 200 million volts. He could even restart his own heart after it stopped. That physical invincibility was matched by an almost divine perception. Enel's mastery of observation haki, which he called mantra, was exponentially amplified by his fruit. He used the electromagnetic waves in the air to listen to the entire nation of Skypiea, capturing every thought and conversation, allowing him to smite opponents with divine thunder from miles away. He was a god in a controlled environment. His priests, his survival game, his plan to destroy his imperfect kingdom, all were acts of a bored and questioning god. Enel was intelligent. His deduction of the location of the Golden Bell and his mechanical genius in designing the Arc Maxim proved that, but his intelligence was poisoned by his arrogance. He was an absolute ruler, unmatched and unaware of any threat until came Monkey D. Luffy. The clash between Luffy and Enel is one of the richest in themes in the entire series, a perfect elemental contrast, lightning against rubber. Suddenly, Enel's invincible judgment became useless. His all-knowing mantra that predicted every attack was completely confused by Luffy's chaotic and unpredictable strikes. The famous Baka attacks, with no conscious intention behind them, Luffy could not be predicted and could not be harmed by Enel's main weapon. For the first time the god was touched. He was kicked, punched, stretched. His arrogance melted into pure disbelief. The defeat was not only physical, it was a theological crisis. It proved to him that he was not a god. And more importantly, it showed that the blue sea he despised so much harbored mortals capable of defying his divine power. That humiliation was a crucial sea. Though arrogant, Enel was smart. He would never forget the man who denied his existence so effortlessly. That encounter forced him to recognize a variable he had never considered, a power greater than his own, and so began a lunar revelation, and who got a new purpose. After his defeat, Enel activated the Arc Maxim and flew toward the moon, but he did not find a barren rock. He found an entire civilization. His lunar journey revealed small winged robots like Lieutenant Spacey waging war against space pirates. After defeating them, Enel discovered a colossal city hidden beneath the lunar surface. The ruins of Burka, their murals depicted the history of his own people, a winged, technologically advanced civilization identical to the peoples of Skypiea, Shandora, and his homeland Burka. That discovery completely recontextualized his identity. Enel was not just a man who ate a devil fruit. He was a descendant of an ancient alien race, technologically superior. The three-winged tribes, Shandorians, Skypians, and Burkans, were not natives of the Sky Islands. They were colonizers from the moon. The rebirth that Enel so desperately sought was not an infinite land, but the abandoned cradle of his ancestors. Enel, the destroyer of Burka, had now found the original Burka, and in its ruins a new purpose. His electric powers, once used to terrorize Skypiea, were now used to reactivate the ancient city and its army of dormant automatons. Now, he has every reason to return. The return of Enel will not be simple. He will not appear just for revenge. His motives are now far Grander intertwined with the core plot of One Piece, Enel's entire identity is built upon divinity. Now that he knows the context of his ancestors, a people literally from the heavens, how will he react upon discovering the existence of other gods in the world? The celestial dragons of Mary Geoise are worshipped and feared as living gods ruling the world under the symbol of the world government, the same title Enel claimed in Skypea for a man who believes himself the only divine being the existence of the celestial. Dragons is a direct insult. This sets up a mythical conflict to self-proclaimed god against false gods, and it inevitably places him on a collision course with Luffy and the world government, both destined to destroy the current system of power. Defeat was his lesson. Arrogance was his downfall, but intelligence is his greatest weapon. Enel spent years on the moon, ruling, studying, rebuilding, and perfecting. He surely improved his electrical abilities, mastering them on an almost scientific level with the time and resources of the ancient lunar civilization. He likely developed new technologies and weapons based on electricity, turning his devil fruit power into something far beyond what we saw in Skypea. Now, he is not just a man with the power of lightning, he is thunder itself incarnate. A reborn god returning to the world that rejected him. His greatest weakness was always the absence of armament. Haki being struck by Luffy was the ultimate humiliation, but also the perfect motivation to overcome that limit. A future Enel would certainly possess an extremely powerful armament. Haki combined with his already divine observation Haki, making him one of the most dangerous users in the world, and if his devil fruit awakened, the result would be terrifying. He could transform the environment itself, air, land, and sea, into conductors of electricity, creating a permanent global storm. His very presence could literally change the planet's climate. A god of thunder on an apocalyptic scale, Enel is not a forgotten villain. He is a key piece, the man who found the truth on the moon, the guardian of the history of the Sky People, a god humiliated by Rubber Man who had years to reflect, learn, and grow stronger when the final war for One Piece begins. When the gods of Mary Geoise are finally challenged, the world will look to the sky, and the Arc Maxim will descend. The return of Enel is essential. He holds the key to the mysteries of the winged races, a potential ancient weapon in his ship, and an army ready to march. His reunion with Luffy will not be a simple rematch. It will be a mythological clash between the god of the sun and the god of thunder for the fate of the planet they both seek to claim. The god of the Sky Island is gone. The king of the moon is coming. Well, that was today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. See you next time.